Okay, so guys, welcome. This is our first of 12 classes, which I'm really excited by because we've never taught this one before, or it's not me teaching, I'm hosting, I'm introducing, but it's Shay's class. So, and I'll introduce him in a minute, but I'm excited because this is, I think, is going to be a great class for everyone. I'm going to be here. I'm Tony White. If you haven't met me before, I'm the founder of the 2D Academy, and I usually teach my animation classes on Tuesday night in the same way that we're doing now on Zoom. And so far, they've been very successful. So we thought we'd branch out. And I've always wanted to do graphic novels, and I've never done that. Here I am after way more than 50 years in the animation industry. I've never actually tackled a graphic novel, and I'm doing so right now before this class started. But I thought, hey, I need a class too. So let's see if we can get a class going here. And we have, and I'm very excited by it. But so having said all the administration work, I just want to introduce Shay. Who is your teacher? So you need to know a little bit about him. I'm sure he's going to introduce himself fully, but Shay Yuan is a painter and illustrator based both in New York and Beijing. His commercial art includes illustrations and graphic novels inspired by Taoism, philosophy, Buddhist culture, and world literature. He graduated from the School of Visual Arts in 2022. His graphic novel adaptation of 100 Years of Solitude won the Robert Frankenberg Award by SVA in 2021 and was nominated for Will Eisner Scholar at the Society of Illustrators in the same year. So not only is Shay published, but he's also awarded as well. So I'm going to pass it over to him. I'm going to make him host of the evening, and from now on, it's totally his class.
I just want to add on to what Tony said a little bit, just to introduce myself a little bit more, so that hopefully you guys can understand a little bit more of what I can share with you guys from my experience. So let me pull up my website. This is a little self-publishing group that I'm running. And on the first here, is my adaptation of the 100 Years of Solitude novel. This one was the one that won award from our school and won the nomination from the Society of Illustrators. So this one is really a condensation of my experience and practice knowledge that I had at the School of Visual Arts, which my major was comics. So this was really something that I can, really a condensation of the academic knowledge that I can share with you guys from the school. And here I have some previous works of mine. So I really started off a few years ago drawing manga. And here, if you can see my screen, it should be like a little me on the top of the share screen. So there are some of my early works. So this is an early version of the comic that we're seeing here, or the manga that we're seeing here. And also I've done some black and white manga before. This was really early. So my point is, I've came a long way from drawing the manga style to where I am now. And it was mainly due to the inspiration from American comic books and European comics, and that really inspired me to change my style and really find my own way of drawing. So what I also want to share with you guys during this course is that it's also my influences. So not only manga, but comic books and also European graphic novels. I think, and also my analysis of those works with you guys, because I think expanding that vision really helps me, and I think hopefully will help you guys as well. So, and here we see some of my other works. So this is a illustration adaptation of Rabindranath Tagore's poetry. So he was a Nobel-winning poet from the last century. And here are some comic strips I've done. So these are sort of like the other side of visual storytelling that I'm exploring apart from graphic novels. And this is my new book, 16 Psyche, which came out last year. So we're working on this, me and my friend Amy, we're working on the sequel to this and bringing it to first, second, or Abraham books. So I'm confident to say, even though I only graduated last year, that I had quite a bit of experience with this medium. So and those skills I can translate to demos and show it to you guys. And also, I will also want to mention that I've done a lot of self-publishing as well as dealing with publishers. So the good thing about self-publishing is that including, you have to take care of everything from the comics to graphic design and to printing process. And I actually learned quite a lot from just doing those myself. So towards the later parts of this course, I will be sharing those knowledge with you guys as well. Okay, cool. So that's a little bit about me. Let's get into the presentation. So initially, I called this course Creating Comics and Graphic Novels, but later when I was researching, I came across this term, writing with pictures, which I thought was brilliant, just perfect, especially for the first few classes we're doing in this course. So I'm putting it here. And I also want to mention that I don't really know you guys' drawings. I will get to know them as the homeworks or the classwork are coming in. But right now, I will start with the very basics, so that to make sure everybody is on the same page, sort of. Okay, so here we have our syllabus. But I just want to briefly cover to sort of summarize the syllabus. So on one side, we'll be covering the principles of this medium, and also on the other side, the drawing and design and drawing skills that to work with those kind of principles. So we have the principles and practice both in this course. So it should work. The syllabus should work over here. Can everyone see the documents here? I think it should work, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So I will just read the introduction very briefly because it's really short. So this course will cover the key principles in visual storytelling and offer an overview of artists' expansive repertoire in graphic novel creation. It will teach students how to effectively communicate their stories through images and enable them to deliver their messages powerfully and poetically. By the end of this course, students are expected to produce one comic strip, one page for their story, and gain knowledge and practice to navigate their journey as a creator going forward. So the main thing here is the one comic strip and one page of a longer story. So I would expect that we have time to do those exercises during class. But if you guys want to have time and want to do more pages of your story, and or maybe more comic strips, you can always do that. Always welcome, and I will always critique those works as long as you bring it to the private classroom or to me. So the first 3 weeks we're gonna be working on comic strips because I think this is a easier or a more basic format of the comic as a medium. And from week 4 onwards to week 11, we'll be doing a longer story or designing a longer story and doing part of it. So those are the main 2 blocks. So those goes together with the syllabus of here, one comic strips, one page for our longer story. So week 1, we'll be doing some introduction. I will do some suggested materials and readings. And the main presentation will be on story structures and comic strip format. So week 2, we'll be focusing on one panel composition. So we'll be covering as much as we can in one single panel. And on week 3, we're gonna talk about how one panel and other panels connect with each other. So how they can connect and how you can make them connect. So by the way, panels is just pictures like this blocks of comics, boxes of images of comics, in case you don't know. We'll cover that in the presentation very soon. So on week 4, we're moving on to the longer stories. So first, we want to do some world building. And then week 5 is like cinematographic kind of skills that we can apply to graphic novels. So I would say the first 4 weeks are like we focus on how to deliver our message clearly. So have all the information there and arrange them in a way that can communicate effectively with the with your reader. And then from week 5 onwards, we'll be working on how to make those make what we have already more visually appealing. So cinematographic principles are like camera angles, how to make your image pop, that kind of stuff. And then on week 6 to 8, we'll be working on the black and white side of comics. So from the black and white principles to penciling and then to inking. And from week 9 to 11, we'll be covering the coloring side. So I would say the first 5 weeks are more like the core of this class. So it's more like fixed. But the rest of the course can be a little bit flexible. So if you guys want, for example, if you guys want more like color stuff, if you like coloring stuff, and we can expand week 9 to 11 to maybe 1 more weeks. Or if you guys prefer to have more on the black and white side, if you guys are really interested in black and white comics and you are interested in inking and that kind of stuff, we could expand weeks 6 to 8. So I'm gonna open. You guys can start to think about it right now. I'm gonna open the thread in our private gathering place, so you guys can type in whatever suggestions or anything that you're looking forward to learning on there, so that I can make sure to cover them in the later half of our course. Okay, I think, yeah. And on week 12, it's just a final critique, and also I'll be sharing some publishing stuff.